Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. It's a pleasure to have you there with me today. I have such a special guest. I'm so excited. Corcoran of Not Quite Brothers. Today's guests are represented by one of the members of a band that has steadily become one of the Midwest's most exciting live acts, a group of University of Northern Iowa alumni whose musical chemistry, precision, and onstage charisma have earned them a huge, loyal, and ever-growing following, of which I am a proud member of that group. Not Quite Brothers is led by Sam Johnson, the choir boy turned rock and roll frontman, whose powerhouse vocals define the band's unmistakable sound. On lead guitar is twin Isaac Ike Johnson, known for playing with such intensity that it sometimes looks like he'd rather use his tongue than his hands, right? Joining them on the strings is today's beautiful guest, Cooper Corcoran, the rhythm guitarist, instantly recognizable by the bandana tucked in his back pocket. On drums is Ben Schmelzer, steady and bearded since 8th grade. Driving the heartbeat of every performance and holding down the low end is Nathan Klein, the country boy of the group. And contrary to rumor, absolutely not Ben's younger brother. Together, these five amazing musicians have built a reputation for delivering dynamic, high-energy performances that honor the heart and soul of classic rock, and a little country swagger when the moment calls for it. So, they've played everywhere, from intimate bars to major venues, but one stage has become an especially meaningful piece of their story, the legendary Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa. Last year's New Year's Eve show was a standout moment. I was there, and it was absolutely unforgettable. This year, they return once again, bigger, bolder, and ready to ring in 2026 with a full room of roaring fans. And today, we're lucky enough to be joined by the man with the rhythm, the bandana, and the back pocket swagger himself. So let's dive in. Please welcome Cooper Corcoran of Not Quite Brothers.
That was wonderful.
Oh, my
Thank you.
pleasure, Cooper. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm just so honored to have you with me today. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed.
yeah,
So,
we appreciate
Cooper,
it.
oh, my pleasure. So, for listeners new, if there is anyone new, but there's going to be someone who's new to Not Quite Brothers, how would you describe the band's sound, identity, and overall live show energy?
Well, I would describe it. I mean, we're shooting for a vintage thing, right? I mean, we were all inspired by the music of the '70s and the '80s, and we still play live amps. It's not digital. The
Yeah,
drums are real. Drummer's a big John Bonham fan, and so the
sweet.
vintage thing is kind of what we're shooting for. I don't know if we achieve it or not, but that's what it reminds me of. It's kind of it's the rock and roll sound, and it takes the band and the sound guy and the light guy to kind of set that mood. But yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Ah, that's so beautiful. And John Bonham, oh my gosh, in my mind, the best drummer on the planet. May he rest in peace.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you and several members share Iowa roots and UNI connections. How's that shared background helped shape the band's chemistry from your perspective?
Yeah, well, so I mean, I don't know. We'll probably speak to inspirations maybe a little bit later, but I
Yeah.
think this part I read something online one time that said like classic rock cover bands are like the heartbeat of the Midwest or something. I think it's so true. Like this part of the nation has such a respect and love for like classic rock music. And I
Yes.
don't know, I'm not a super well traveled person. I've been around enough to be dangerous, I guess, but I think that this part of the country, like I said, has such a respect for it, and there's such a wide variety of influences among us. Just like Sam, being a kind of a choir boy, and
Yes.
Ben introducing me to stuff from the '70s and '80s that you got to dig pretty deep to find when we first started.
Right.
So just the wide variety of influences, of course, has helped to shape our sound. I mean, we wouldn't have the sound that we have without all of our different influences.
Exactly. And I was really blown away by your cover of Man, I Feel Like a Woman by
Yeah,
Shania Twain. So it's
yeah,
not just rock, it's
no,
country too.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So as the rhythm guitarist, what drew you to the role specifically, and how do you approach supporting the band's overall sound?
Yeah. Well, nothing really drew me to it. I started playing guitar, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't. I'll keep the long and short of it is I sat down in algebra class one day, and I knew Isaac played guitar. I sat next to him strategically. I had just started playing myself. This is in high school, and he opened up his computer, and it was a picture of Jimi Hendrix. And I opened up my computer, and mine was also a picture of Jimi Hendrix, and he saw it, and he was like,
Oh,
it was instant, you know. And then
yes.
he kind of took me under his wing, and instead of teaching me to be just another lead guitar player, I was kind of his support and his backing track for a long time, and so I just kind of naturally shaped into the role of a rhythm guitar player. And I don't think much about it. I think we've had several talks, and in the early stages of the band, we spent a lot of time rehearsing and practicing, playing for the song and playing for the band, not playing for yourself.
Yes.
Because if you can be in a band, but if you're playing for yourself and you're not playing for the song or for the group,
Right.
it's just five people doing a different thing. You all have to be aiming towards a similar goal.
Exactly. I love that story. Oh, how fun is that? So, as the rhythm guitarist, you've become known as the guy with the bandana in his back pocket. Does that signature look have a story behind it, or did it evolve naturally over time, Cooper?
It evolved naturally, and I'll tell you what. I moved out of my parents' house a couple years ago, and after school, I moved back in with my folks, and I moved out. And I left all my bandanas there, and they only live like a block away. But I don't know why. I was going to a show one time, and I was like, "Well, I never brought my bandanas here." And ever since then, I don't have them. There really is no story behind it. I did wear one in my back pocket for every show for several years on end, and I guess it was what my inspirations did. I think I saw Slash do it when I was younger and watching guitar players, and I was like, man, I don't know why he's doing that, but that's cool. So I did it too.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
it so much. And going off the list of questions, so all of you graduated from the University of Northern Iowa, where I was a humanities and speech and writing professor. I did not have the opportunity to teach you, but I would have loved to. So, how do you think your background at the University of Northern Iowa and being grads together influenced you to start Not Quite Brothers?
I'm actually going to stop you, and this might surprise you. And maybe I didn't know people. I mean, I don't know if people think that or not. I'm actually the only one that graduated from the University of Northern Iowa. Sam did a brief stint at Luther
Oh,
College, and then he went to Hawkeye for a little while. Ben and Nathan did not go to school. Nathan's actually, I mean, I'm 25. Nathan's 21 or 22. He's quite a bit younger than the rest of us.
ooh.
And Isaac went to school in like tech school in Minnesota and learned how to build guitars. So
Okay.
but we did all end up in Cedar Falls. That's true. And
Okay.
so we all lived there. And actually, Sam lived in a house with some buddies that I went to college with. And we would practice in their basement. So even though they weren't going to school at the time, we spent our fair share of time on the hill and on Main Street, Cedar Falls, and
There you go.
they might not have been going to school, but they may as well have been because
So as
we
a
act like it.
I love it. So as a former professor from UNI, I'm going to grant you all honorary degrees.
That's awesome. I'm going to share that with them. They'll be super proud to hear
There you go.
that.
There you go. I love it so much. So, what was your first impression when you met the other members, and what moment early on made you think, yes, this is the band I want to be in?
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't have much of a choice. Isaac just kind of decided what my role was going to be in his life. And in high school, it's hard to remember. So I don't know if a lot of people know this too. There's probably not a lot of people that ever saw it. The reason it's called Not Quite Brothers is it was just myself and then the twins, just Sam and Isaac initially in high school. And so it made sense because there was two twins and I was kind of the odd man out. It's like,
Yeah.
honorary brother sort of thing. Makes a
Uh-huh.
lot less sense now that there's five of us, but whatever, it's too late now.
Yeah.
And anyway, we did an acoustic thing and we would play like local breweries and bars and stuff. And then they just knew Ben through, I think it was through show choir backup band. And so I had known Ben just from knowing these guys, just kind of friend of a friend sort of thing. And all ended up in Cedar Falls. And I don't even know if that answered the question or not, but that's kind of how that all happened.
Oh my gosh, yes, it answers the question beautifully. Oh, I love it. So, what are some of your earliest childhood memories involving music, and how did those early moments influence the musician you've become?
Yeah, I'll speak on behalf of myself because, like I said, there
Yes.
is a huge variety of influences. If I step ahead here, I'm sorry, but when
Nice.
I was a kid, my mom and dad would listen to. I just remember XM radio, and
Yeah.
I remember like "Dirty Deeds" by AC/DC was like that was one of I don't know. I heard it one time and I was like, this is crazy, and I grew up listening to a ton of Leonard Skinner. My
Oh,
dad liked to ride motorcycles, and so I was like, just I mean, I don't know, in love with Leonard Skinner from the time I
yes.
was just a kid, and I still am. So that kind of Aerosmith and Van Halen and all that. But there's just some bands that I missed out on, and the rest of the band, there's I guess like Ben and Sam and Isaac's dad all played music when they were growing up, so they were. I mean, I was exposed to really good music, but sort of a unique. Like my grandma listened to Alan Jackson, so I'm a huge Alan Jackson fan, and
Oh,
like country and stuff,
yay.
and they were like I said, when we first started the band, like I remember the day that Ben introduced me to Fly to the Angels by Slaughter. And I was like, it just blew my mind. I'd never heard that song before. So I kind of got
Right.
all like the easy, like, stuff that everybody's heard. And then
Right.
they kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and were like, let's go deeper.
Yeah.
But everybody's just got such a different variety, but really it's our parents and each other. I've learned more music from my mom and dad and this group of guys than I'll ever learn from anybody for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Do you have siblings?
I do. I have one older sister, and she she likes Riley Green and Ella Langley and all of the new
Oh,
stuff, and it's
yeah. Yeah.
whatever. It's cool. I love that
Yeah.
she's into music. It's
Right.
not all the stuff I listen to, but I think it's great.
It's so cool. So, Cooper, what's your biggest pet peeve, whether on stage, while traveling, or in rehearsals?
Pet peeve. I don't know. I never like to be late. I'm a pretty prompt guy. So I guess that, but I mean that, sometimes that's not anyone else's fault. I don't know. I don't have any like crazy pet peeves. Sometimes our merch guy and I will kind of, we butt heads a little bit. He'll do something and, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess him and I, in the most friendly way possible. I love
Yes, of
Steve to death. He
course.
is one of my best friends, but,
Of
um,
course.
and I don't like hotel rooms during the day. Some of the guys, if we're gone, they'll be like, we're going to go take a nap. And I just think a hotel room during the day is the darkest, worst place on earth. I'll be tired all night long before I sit in a hotel room during the day.
I love it. I love that so much. So, who have been your greatest personal influences, and how do they shape your playing style or work ethic with the band?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I mean, personally, I started playing guitar. I remember I saw a video of Slash playing with Miles Kennedy, doing it was an acoustic thing that they did, and I remember seeing that and telling my mom I wanted a guitar for Christmas. Like I was 14 at the time, and I didn't know that I had guitar influences, but like I remember when I was a kid, I could recognize a song with Leonard Skinner before anybody even sang a word because it was like you know when you hear it, and so
Yes.
I didn't know that they were huge influences of mine really until later. So I kind of point to Slash, but there was a lot more. And in recent years, like I've become a really big fan of Southern rock. Like I love the Allman Brothers, and I
Nice.
love a band called Blackberry Smoke, and just am infatuated with their lead guitar player and lead singer. And I guess I don't know how it's shaped my playing. I mean, it just kind of does, whether it's
Yes.
vibrato or, tone coming through the amp or the types of
Right.
guitar that you play. You naturally
Yes.
pick up, there's Les Pauls on the wall back there because I
Yeah.
love Slash. It's like,
Yes.
you just kind of naturally go towards what you like.
Right. Exactly. Les Paul is a fabulous guitar. Way to go
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, we love them.
Absolutely. And did you know that Leonard Skinner was named after the PE teacher that was so beloved?
I did know that. Yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Isn't that the coolest thing
I'll tell you
ever?
my pet peeve. I'll tell you my pet
Okay,
peeve.
I'm listening.
This is not something that happens when we're out often. I guess from time to time you hear it, but I'll hear people refer to Leonard Skinner as he, not knowing that he's a band, as if he's like a solo act. They'll be like, oh, he came to this fair. It's like
Oh no,
there's
are you serious?
15 of them. Have you ever seen them? Like there's so
Yeah,
many. So that's my
right.
pet peeve. If you didn't know Leonard Skinner was a band, you learned today.
There you go. And girlfriends and I are going to go see Leonard Skinner this summer. So,
Yeah,
yeah, we're very excited about that. That's funny. What a pet peeve. I love that one.
yeah, yeah.
That's so cute. Okay, so what part of the songwriting or arranging process do you enjoy most? And what role do you typically play behind the scenes?
Um, Sort of a twofold question. I'll answer them in order. In
Mhm.
terms of songwriting, when we wrote our EP, like kind of under a different moniker, I enjoyed watching what everybody else did. Like, truthfully, I mean, I would contribute, where I knew stuff, but like, Ben and Isaac will have gotten together on a random night and been like, listen to what we came up with, and watching something develop, and then Sam jump, like, just
Yes.
watching the whole process unfold in front of me was like unbelievable at times. I'm like,
Yes.
you made that? You know what I mean? How the heck did you do that?
Right.
So I think really like just the observation of it all and contributing where I could, like that was the coolest part. And yeah, what role do I play behind the scenes? I mean, this stuff,
Mhm.
I'm kind of, I don't know, doing the book work, and sometimes it's fun. We get to do interviews and stuff like that, but it's no secret. There's a lot of stuff that happens when we're not on stage, that keeps this thing moving along. And I'm happy that they trust me and allow me to do all that
Yes.
stuff. And I'm proud to be that big of a part of it. So,
Oh, that's so beautiful. And we have a shared friend, Nate Allison from
yeah.
Manchester. He was one of my favorite students. Well, he would say that he was my favorite student, so I'll go
Yeah.
with that. But I did teach my daughter too, so they're kind of tied.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a good honor for Nathan,
Yeah,
huh?
that
He's
is a good
that
honor.
close up there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's that close up there. So I'd heard you on his podcast. Oh gosh, this was like 3 years ago. And I was so intrigued to hear that, he remembers when y'all were in diapers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the story was like, so was friends with our merch guy. And Sam and Isaac maybe grew up down the
Yeah,
street from him or
down the
something. Or
street.
near. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recall that. Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
really good guy.
He's amazing. I miss his podcast, but there's a season for everything. And now he's got the brand new baby boy. And well, not brand new, but a little baby boy under a year. And so, this is time to be daddy. But
Yeah.
hopefully down
Yeah.
the road, right?
Right.
We want to get him back on the air. Okay, so Not Quite Brothers has gained a strong Midwest following. What has that growth felt like from your vantage point over the years?
Yeah, it's hard to believe at times. In certain things, like at one point in time, we'd have done anything, to play the surf ballroom or to play in front of some of the
Yes.
bands that we've played in front of, or
Right.
travel to the places we've traveled, or own some of the guitars that I own. Like it was all
Yes.
like just a dream. But it all happens at such a, what it's like. I mean, I'm sure you've heard a million people say this. It all happens at such a pace where it's like, this, and then this leads to that and leads to that and leads to that. And so
Right.
it's zooming out is not as easy as what, from
Yeah.
a bystander's perspective, it's probably easier to process. But like for me, it's hard to zoom out, you know what I mean? And it's hard
Yes.
to believe that we've been doing it for as long as we have too, because it feels like
Right.
yesterday.
Yes. Of course. And, this year you're returning to the iconic, as we mentioned, Surf Ballroom for New Year's Eve. You'll also be doing the Val Air.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. And that's December 27th.
It is. Yeah. We're
Yes.
end of the year with a ballroom blitz. That's what I
Yes,
say.
Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh, so cute. Okay, so back to the surf. What does it mean to you personally to ring in the new year on the historic stage of Surf Ballroom again this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're honored to be a part of it. I remember we played like a summer concert series there or something few years ago, and they're like, "We need
Oh,
the New Year's Eve band like the other New Year's Eve bands done," and we're like, "Absolutely, of
yes.
course we'll do that." And I mean, it's been a blast. We recorded a live album at the one a couple years ago, and just to
Oh,
commemorate it, because it's like
yes.
I mean, it's hallowed ground. Everybody will
Yes.
tell you, you walk in that room and it's a different feeling, and I'll be another person to
Yes.
testify. It's
Right.
a real thing.
Yes. Rest in peace, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and
Yeah,
Buddy Holly. God bless them, only in their 20s.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that just breaks my heart. Well, Richie Valens was a teenager, he was like 17.
Is that right? I don't even know if I
Yes,
knew that.
a baby, just a baby. So, yeah, I mean, you guys, it's hallowed ground, but it's so fitting for all of you because you are the music.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
remember seeing a show there when I was like seven. I think I was 17. One of my favorite bands, and they did not fade away. They brought out the opener, and they did not fade away. And I was just like, "What is?" It was the cool. It was the coolest thing. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I've got chills. I love that so much. So, for fans who saw last year's New Year's Eve Surf Ballroom performance along with me, what new elements or surprises can they expect from this year's show?
Yeah, so I mean, we always like to change it up. If you've been following along long enough, we like to change it up. I would say the biggest thing and what I'm personally most excited for is our friends in Tyler Richton and the High Bank Boys from Georgia. I don't know if you've ever seen them before,
No.
but they are. I mean, they are a riot, and they do
Yay.
what they do so well. I mean, it's country. There's no hiding that. It's
Sweet.
fiddle and it's a real boot scooting kind of thing, but they're really good and they write really good tunes and play some originals and play some covers. Really good friends of ours. Can't say enough about them.
Yay.
And they just bring an element to the show that really no other band can.
Oh,
And then outside of that, we've been playing a new Kiss song. We've been playing a new Poison song. We've been playing a new Ozzy
ooh,
song. We've been playing a new Black Crow song. So all that
yes.
stuff. And, I mean, if time allows, maybe we'll, bust something out we haven't played in a while. We'll
Yeah.
see. I guess you
Yeah.
never know.
You never know. I love it. I cannot wait. My dear friend Janelle and I were there last year and we're coming again together this year. So we're both super, super pumped up. So when you're not on the road or performing, what does an ideal day off look like for you, Cooper?
I'm not super proud to admit this, but I have to be honest with you.
Yes, of course.
I'm speaking on behalf of myself and some of the others in the band as well. I love to play video games. That's my day
Ooh.
off, or spend time with my girlfriend and my family. I mean, that's
Oh,
up there as well, and so yeah, either of those things really, because you can't do either of those while you're away. You can't go spend time with
yes.
your family. They're not with you, and you can't, sit in your room and play video games and just unplug. I mean, I
Yeah.
say unplug. It's like the most plugged in thing you can do. But yeah, I mean, you just disassociate for a little while. That's what I like to do. That's what other guys in the band like to do as well. And
Oh,
obviously, I play guitar at home probably just
yeah.
as much as I do when I'm out there. And
Yeah.
so I do plenty of that while home as well.
I love that you play video games. Not recently, but I would say about 5 years ago, I read a Harvard Business Review study wherein the top surgeons across the country all played video games as
Yeah,
children.
yeah.
Yes, and that developed their intense hand-eye coordination, and it keeps it fresh for you when you're doing the video game. So I laud your efforts.
Yeah. Well, I was having a conversation with a buddy the other day, and I was like, it's we're gone every weekend,
Yes,
and so the people that I mean, I love the band to death, and I
yes.
see my family. Thankfully, I live close to them, and but like in terms of keeping in touch with friends, it's like it's super hard to like call up my group of friends outside of the band and say, hey, do you want to go do this? You want to go do
Yeah,
that? It's like every Friday and Saturday
of
I'm
course.
gone, and
Right,
and
of
so like
course.
it's really hard to make time, and so that's a way, it's I think more so than the actual game, it's a way for me to connect with people that are not the band that I desire to talk to on a regular
Yes.
basis, you know what I mean? And so that's the easiest way to
Oh,
do that for me. So
I love that. I didn't even think about the community of gamers.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. I
yeah.
love that so much. And props to your girlfriend because I don't know how she does it,
Me
dealing
either.
with, yeah, dealing with the relationship when you're always on the road. So, what's her name? Let's give her a shout out.
Her name's Lauren. Yeah. She
Oh,
actually, I was kind of banking on her having a 2 hour delay for school today. She's a kindergarten teacher.
oh,
And
she
so,
is.
yeah, I thought for sure she was going to have a delay with this weather
Yeah.
that came in, but nope, she's gone. But yeah,
Oh,
really, I mean, all of them, all the girlfriends and wives in the band, they all put up with it so well,
yes,
And
yes.
of course, Isaac's got a family now. He just welcomed a second baby boy a couple of
Oh,
weeks ago. And so, um,
beautiful.
yeah, they deal with it really well and they're super supportive. We could not be more thankful for that because,
Yes.
without that, it would be pretty well impossible. So,
Yeah, pretty well impossible. So I can't believe that your girlfriend had to go in and didn't have a delay. God bless her.
yeah, I know. Yep. She's
You
doing the
know,
thing.
yeah, she's doing the thing. Our kiddos around here, all the schools have a 2 hour delay. So, yeah, I don't know. She deserves an award. I tell you what, give her a bubble bath, give her
Yeah.
whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, where can fans find the band's upcoming show schedule and stay updated on new performances or special appearances?
Yeah, best place to be like the Facebook event page or notquitebrothers.com. There's a tab there with the schedule. It'll kind of tell you where we're going. We got a few shows left to close out the year. Chicago this weekend, and then we go to Nashville for a weekend, and then
Yes.
doing the Valor show and the surf show. And then,
Yes.
we try to stay pretty quiet in January. We got a show. We're heading to Minnesota for a show. But then ready or not, February, it all comes back around. Like I said, Isaac had a new baby boy and Sam got
Yes.
married. We took quite a bit of time off through October and November and kind of refreshed. We played a show at Wild Rose Casino in Jefferson last weekend, and it was like kind of our first show back after a pretty long break, what it felt like anyway. And it was just,
Yes.
we had a riot. We were having such a time. We're like, man, it feels so good to be back. So these last few
Yes.
shows before the end of the year they're gonna be a good time.
Oh, I love it. And for listeners wanting to reach out, purchase merch, or stay connected with Not Quite Brothers, what are the best ways they can follow or contact you, Cooper?
Yeah, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Bands in Town as well. That's kind of immediately when we announce a show, you'll get an email. It says, hey, we're going to be coming to this place. And, in terms of getting in touch with us, the best way, there's a contact form on our website that goes straight to all parties involved, the band's representation and agent and everybody. So, if you want to get in touch, go ahead and fill out that form and we'll definitely get back to you.
Perfect. I love it so much. And for those who are doing Christmas shopping, your merch is perfect for stocking stuffers, right?
It is, yeah, merch. And I always tell people the tickets get overlooked. It's like some of my favorite Christmas gifts ever, especially to give are tickets. I can't say who or what because they'll watch
Yeah.
this, but giving tickets to people it's a cool thing.
That's a very cool thing. I love it. I'm gonna have to start doing that with my kids. Give them all in their stocking tickets. I love
Yeah.
it. So, any closing thoughts, Cooper?
Nothing. No. If you come to the show on Valor or Surf Bar and towards the end of the year, come say hi, check it out. And, follow us on all the socials and keep up.
Yes, keep doing fabulous work. I can't wait to see you live in concert on New Year's Eve at the Surf Ballroom with my dear friend Janelle Cooper. The
That's
whole group of you, just magic.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate you having us.
My pleasure. All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.